welcome to this new episode. And today I have the pleasure to introduce Amritesha. Hello.
Hello, Luca.
Very nice. So Amritesha is a very interesting person. He has a very striking background as a holder of a Ph.D. in physics in Germany, working in the corporate sector, and then deciding to leave that all behind and embracing a yogic lifestyle in Koh Phangan. You know that I love yoga very much, and particularly, I love hanging out with yoga teachers. Certainly, Amritesha is a yoga teacher, but I'll say he's a lot more than just a yoga teacher. Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey up until now?
Yes, of course. So I started with an ordinary life, like Luca explained already. I had a very good job, I had a good education, I had a nice family, so everything you could dream of was there. Maybe I was having a wish for having some children, which I don't have yet. But the thing is that living this life for 35 years, somehow it didn't turn out for me to be absolutely fulfilling. I was having this question in my mind. I wanted to understand how the universe is functioning, how the universe works, what it holds together. That was actually one motivation for studying physics for me. And at one point I understood, okay, I have an understanding about physics, but still there's so much more and more things popped up in my life which was giving me the proof that there's so much more. And probably some of you can feel that already by yourself, like there's something like telepathic transmissions. Oh, I know who is calling me right now. So these moments are there in this life, and there's a meaning to that, and which is very strong in the Yogic culture, for example, is the working with energies. So you can feel something going through the body, which is something beyond the body. You can feel it even from the distance sometimes when giving or receiving massages, like there's a range of radiation where you can feel the warmth of the hand, but you can still feel the hand when it's far away, and there's no physical explanation for that. And there are many of these things which made me more and more curious. And so there was something like which could be called a midlife crisis, because it was just happening at the age of 35, around that. And also some of the old things were going away, and so I had to divorce. Later I quit my job, I changed my place from Germany to come to Koh Phangan because of all these things driving me forward. And I was suddenly into this exploration of the beautiful things which are far beyond the physical. And this drove me through the many past years. And first, of course, I was starting in Germany and countries around to make some explorations, trainings, and also starting to do some yogic practices. I was not so much into doing yoga and physical stretching in the beginning, but I felt that my body was liking it. I was more into the more mystical things, more interested in that, and also more interested in tantric explorations. But then over the time, coming here to Koh Phangan, where so many spiritual things are offered from so many different people, and then I found one place where I felt like, okay, this is now, after all these years of searching, this is something where I want to stay. This is something where I want to go and dive very, very deeply into it, because it was giving me so much nice results. So I was feeling better, I was feeling somehow blessed and blissful in my life for long periods of time. And everything seems to be working for me. And there was one episode which I would like to share that was actually a tantra workshop, but we were doing some combination of a massage and a breath work, and focusing of the mind on the chakras, which are the energy centers of the being. And we were doing this exercise, and so much energy built up inside of this being that I, in the end, was feeling something like a lot of intensity and vibration throughout the body, of course, but it was also somehow relaxed and very calm. It was a somehow different state of where I was used to be. And so it was, of course, a partner thing. So there was a nice lady giving me this massage, and it's going to the higher chakras in the end, and then there's some awareness on the crown chakra, and then at that place it was built up to the fullest, and I intuitively was holding my breath for a certain period of time, and in the inner world I wanted to feel this more, to embrace this more, to embody this more. And it was like a feeling like this light and grace was pouring into the body, and I wanted it to stream through every cell, through the hands and feet and everywhere, and I was just waiting there for it to happen. And then the original magic happened, because she didn't understand fully what was going on. I could not communicate to her in that place. It was all silent, and she was trying to take care. I didn't know her very much, just for a few days. And she just touched my face on the cheek like this. So this is something which is so much of a human normal experience, but in that state it was feeling so incredibly full of love. So what I felt is like my being, myself, was so much on the essence that I was able to feel it in this intense way. And it was so beautiful that I said to the other people doing this workshop at the same day, that was so intense, so much love which I was able to perceive in that exercise, that I want now to feel this every day. And I was never feeling that before. And this was like the kickoff for me to say, okay, now I really want to go for this, and I want to practice this, I want to go into that. Of course, it took me a little bit of time to go to the same thing again. Precisely the same thing never happened again, but very beautiful different things are coming and coming when we are doing this nice yoga exploration. And I even learned that originally being more interested in tantra and doing something together with somebody, that there's of course a strong dependence, and when I'm doing yoga on my own, I'm more independent and I have more time for doing this, and this is somehow working even better for me. So after a while I discovered this. Still it can be very beautiful together, but this yoga path by itself is just showed up to me after a few years of practice, that this is actually extremely beautiful, and it's going on. I'm learning a lot of new things every day. The feeling inside changes. Usually day by day there are also ups and downs, but generally I would say it's so much more intense, sometimes ecstatic. Like just breathing is such a joy, such a beauty, or looking at this beautiful place. You should see that we have the ocean here, we have nature. This is something to enjoy to the fullest, and this is part of the tantric practice, actually, to embrace life, and I enjoy this so much. So I'm very happy to have made this decision to explore beyond the usual rat race which I was used to be in, like I have to think of my customers and how can I solve this solution, and they need to give me so much money, and do I have enough money, and all these thoughts were troubling me. Now for the last 2 years I didn't care very much about these things anymore, and I'm feeling very happy that this is possible.
Indeed,
So
indeed.
I feel very grateful.
Thank you for sharing. This is very beautiful, and I think one of the great gifts of yoga is indeed the ability to make us so aware in the moment that we can feel the emotions, we can really grasp the beauty of the world in a different, in a higher level, if you want, right? Isn't it? So basically, in some ways, you wanted more than just a normal life. And you wanted to, you were seeking more, you wanted to learn more, you wanted to develop and to experience more. And yoga gave you some tools to be able to actually get these high-level experiences, as well as being more present and more connected with the energy aspects of your body and other things. Is that right?
Yes, you could say that in a particular way. So what is important for me right now is I'm doing much more meditations, for example, and I'm starting to really enjoy sitting in meditation, and maybe as a man I could say doing nothing. That's even a very natural expression. Like in old days, men were used to go to the lake and fishing and being on their own doing nothing. And that's a very beautiful experience. In meditation, it's somehow similar. So I feel reminded of the stories from older days, from my grandparents and so on. So nowadays, of course, we can also do that. For me, it's just more meditation.
People are very familiar with the physical aspect of yoga, what we call asanas. And I think personally it's absolutely fine for people to start on a yoga practice which is more physical in nature, if that's what they feel they want to do.
Yes.
But indeed, yoga is a very beautiful, very broad spectrum of techniques, philosophies, and ways to interpret life that go way beyond the physical aspect. So, if you look at different aspects of yoga, you already mentioned that you really like the meditation at the moment, you do meditation. Is there any other aspect of yoga that you really like or that you're practicing particularly now?
There's a lot of practices which are very important, and it's absolutely right. We have been given these beautiful bodies, and this is where we start doing yoga usually. And this is an integral part for me every day. So it's not happening that I'm not doing any asana, because there's something coming with it. So this is how we understand Hatha Yoga, which is more like the Ha and the Ta, the Yin and the Yang, the positive and negative polarity of the being. And when I'm doing an asana, I'm using this. I'm using the body to go to a specific posture. And then in this specific posture, I used to close my eyes and feel into the body what is actually happening, and I'm concentrating on the flow of energy. And this is giving more energy to the being. So when I'm feeling tired, it is very good for me to do a physical asana to get more energy in the body, but also more clarity in the mind, relaxation, so the breath calms down. So this is, for me, definitely a very important part to take care of my physical health. And when everything is fine with that, then I would go to the next stage. So I love to do pranayamas like breath work, breathing exercises, holding my breath, relaxing into this, also with closed eyes and concentrating on the energies and on the more subtle planes of this universe and connecting to that. And then there are coming more stages which are all described in the Yogic tradition, like you can do some stronger concentration only with the mind on the chakra in the head at the level of the forehead, for example. This is the mental command center where you can concentrate, and this is even helping in learning things, like in everyday life. This is a very beautiful connection, like when I want to learn a new language, it might be helpful to energize this energy center and do some concentration techniques before, or maybe an asana which is bringing energy to this part of the body as well. And when doing all these things, then at the end, naturally, it goes deeper, and when it goes deeper, more relaxed, then meditation can occur more easily. Or sitting still and relaxed and not thinking so much anymore, and coming more to a place of awareness and presence in this very moment. And then this beauty can unfold. So there's a story to this practice which is happening more or less every day. Like, and there's a learning of the whole system. Like, after a while, the body knows how to feel this energy, and the energy flows even with less of a physical practice. And then the mind can learn it, and then it's flowing more naturally.
What you're saying is very beautiful indeed, and it is great, I think, learning the yoga system, because indeed then once you learn about different techniques and you can induce different states of mind or sort of, different emotions within the body, then you are more in control in some ways of what's happening inside you, isn't it? Because you have tools that allow you to be prepared for whatever life throws at you, and you are able to then detach yourself or focus very much on something. So this ability of sort of feeling energy, feeling the way you are and controlling it. I mean, if you haven't experienced any kind of moments of bliss or any strong, opening inside, it's possibly not so easy for you to understand or relate to what we are talking about. But if you have had some peak experience, like you mentioned earlier, and then you are curious about it, you start learning and developing and learning and developing, then you reach a point when you feel substantially different as a person. Is that right? And how long does it take?
That's absolutely true.
In your opinion, how long does it take? Or what's the journey like for somebody who wants to start onto a yogic path, which is beyond the asanas or beyond the physical aspect?
You can start every day. So a lot of things coming from the mind and also from the belief. So if you're able to believe I can do it, I can move something, I can control my emotions maybe, I can change my emotions, then you're actually already close to being able to do it. Maybe you even can do it.
It's not so easy to draw a conclusion of what is yoga actually, but certainly we established that there is a lot more potential in the human being that we know,
Definitely.
both scientifically and experientially. So if you want to lead a more extraordinary life, one of the paths that you can consider certainly is yoga. And yoga provides so many beautiful gifts that are there to be picked, and a life journey of learning, developing and experiencing. And Koh Phangan certainly is one of those places where you can come and experience some of it. India obviously is another place. But well, thank you Amritesha for this little chat today.
Thank you, Luca.
And let's hope we were able to inspire some people to maybe take the first step in yoga, or at least, try and pick up a book, because there's the philosophy of yoga, there's the
Or an online course.
An online course, yes. Is there any online course particularly that you recommend? Yeah, maybe we'll put it in the description. Many at a time. Well, thank you very much for this little chat.
Luca.
And that's it.